Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to these live shots coming to you from Aberdeen Sports Ground on the southern coast of Hong Kong Island for the return of the Natixis Rugby Cup in Hong Kong for 2018. It is, of course, French Super Club Racing 92 taking on the power of the Cell C Sharks from South Africa. And there's the layout before you, ladies and gentlemen, as we take in these opening shots, a very picturesque green part of the island, as in contrast to the other side of Hong Kong Island that we've all seen the famous skyline, and the nature reserves and the hiking tracks all up and through the hills of this part of the island, very well known, and also very well covered by my co-commentator, co-host, former Hong Kong international Rob Naylor Jr. What a treat to have you on board today. How are you?
Mate, I'm a little bit cold, but it's a pleasure being here with you, mate. And you're more than warming the place up. I'm excited about.
There'll be a fair bit of hot air getting around, mate. Don't you worry about that. Now we're in for a bit of a treat today. This is top end festival rugby, Racing 92. They've brought in some big bangers, and of course there's going to be some real fizz coming out of these Sharks boys. What can we expect, do you think?
Mate, it's a bit unfortunate we don't get to see the big names for Racing. Obviously Dan Carter or Pat Lambie not playing. But the good news is the local boy Matt Worley gets a start. I think if I'm staying corrected, I think it's his first senior start for Racing 92, so he'll be excited, young lad, and it'll be good to see him get out in front of his home crowd. The Sharks obviously 2 weeks away from the start of the Super Rugby, so I'm guessing they're throwing out their big guns and they'll be hoping for no injuries.
We go down to the tunnel and coming out, very leisurely pace. It's been a very leisurely week for both of these teams. They've come in, they've conducted training camps, and they've conducted public coaching clinics for a lot of the school kids in Hong Kong, as the Sharks and Racing 92 make their way on Aberdeen Sports Ground. We'll have the national anthems for both South Africa and France, and rather large frames of Afatia, Edwin Marker, Boris Palu, Census Johnson, the large, robust athletic frame of the Samoan International.
There's definitely some big boys in both those sides. I would definitely not like to be out there, I'll tell you right now.
Well, as a whimsical halfback junior, no one's really surprised to hear that.
No, I used to like hiding behind the big fellas, I'll tell you that much. Use my mouth and then head quite well.
So we get ready now for the national anthems, first of South Africa and then of France.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of South Africa. Please remain on your feet for the national anthem of France.
Rousing reception for the French national anthem as the Natixis Rugby Cup gets ready to kick off here in Hong Kong. A return for Racing 92, a longer relationship that they've established over time with the Hong Kong rugby union community, and there's a very good turnout by the locals to support the event. The Racing 92 team, as you can see there, former All Black Joe Rokothoko, the magic man out the back, the local boy number 15, Matthew Worley. What do we know about Matt Worley?
Mate, he was sent across to Natixis a couple of years ago on a sponsorship deal, and he's sort of impressed, and he's been there ever since. So, as I said earlier, I'm really looking forward to seeing him play today.
Well, he's got a huge turn of pace, this kid Worley, so if he gets some space, he really can go. And this looks like, well, when you talk about a V8, just look at that forward pack. Schumann, Moraes, Du Toit, both of the captain. Van der Walt, will be looking forward to seeing him play, and of course Vermeulen, he's an absolute destroyer of teams at times.
Mate, he is, and also Keegan Daniel at number 8 there, he's one of the best running number 8s around, so I'm looking forward to seeing these big boys against the athleticism as well, running around the pitch today.
Number 19 is Boris Palu. He'll be entering the game if he does at due course for Racing 92, but he won't be wearing a number, but if you do see him and you're wondering who it is, it's Boris. We're getting ready for a kick-off. The Natixis Rugby Cup. There's good vibrations, a good atmosphere building nicely. Referee today, Tenor DeWitt referee Tim Baker, New Zealander, now residing here in Hong Kong and probably the number one whistler, certainly in the Asian region. And Tim Baker calls time on, and the Natixis Rugby Cup for 2018 gets away, and Sharks just shaping up for an exit play here. Imagine it'll all be going by the coach's whiteboard at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what tactics these guys turn up with today, Jed. Obviously the Sharks 2 weeks out from the start of the Super Rugby and mid-season racing.
The Sharks are already keen to show the ball a bit of air, and why not? When you've got pace out wide, you might as well go to it. And Pimpy, you've seen him absolutely fly for the Cheetahs in the past. I'll bring him back. And it's been at least 3 or 4 years that Racing 92 have been building on this relationship, courtesy of Natixis. Certainly sponsors of obviously Racing 92, but also here in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Football Club. And this work they've been doing for rugby union in the region has been outstanding. The French club, always great visitors to have in town. As we look forward to the opening scrum. Held at the back. Straight into the action. Big Joe Rokothoko.
He's looking slightly larger than when I first saw him in Hong Kong about 10 years ago, Jed, playing for the Sevens.
Still be a yard quicker than you and I think, Junior.
Probably just had me over 5, I'd say.
Doesn't make it. Pulls him back for a knock on. And it's in perfect conditions today for rugby. Grey overhead, not a breath of wind. It's absolutely silent out there. And it's not too cold, although keep shivering any more than that, Junior. I'll have to call the Zambucks in.
Mate, it's not the best for commentating in an open tent, but it's great rugby conditions.
Cameron Wright prepares to feed the scrum. Tom Baker calls it in. Messi in the set piece. Referee Baker keen to keep that tidy. Good solid entry into the game for number 12, Marius Lowe. Right.
Sharks definitely showing their intent there, Jed. They're obviously going to run everything.
It'll be interesting to see how the tempo game plays against these big men from the Western 92 team. Right, snappy delivery. There's a bit of space. Well, they've made it behind the gain line. Clears out. Bounce pass. It's low in the knees to start with.
It's always good to keep your fly half on his toes early in the game, Jed.
Pimpy chasing Worley. Matt Worley's first touch of the ball. He's done well to bide himself some time, the young fella. A little bit of skullduggery going in there at the breakdown, as you would expect. Forwards in there making things difficult for everybody.
He's done well there, Matt has. He's took that in well. He could have had a turnover, but he managed to bide his time and got the support players there behind him.
Racing 92, halfback. Teddy Uribe. Mavey, and it's clean off the top. And into the midfield they strike. Through Vuli. Feeling out process, just continuing.
Sharks are quite close, quite fast off that D-line there.
Eventually, Harry Barron puts it high, and it's well taken coming forward, wasn't it? Low, and they move it.
Testing out Matt Worley early.
Picks out Worley and he finds a touchline. Well, I remember him being a lot skinnier when he left town. He must have found his way down to the cheese factory in Paris.
He's definitely found the bakery in France. He's definitely put on size, and it's been good size.
It's always an interesting decision, as you were saying, Junior. How do these two teams approach it? One mid-season, the other one getting ready for Super Rugby. Both camps keen not to take injuries.
Mate, that would be the big thing. You'd think the coaches would be, either side would be hoping for nothing serious to come out of this game. I think last year the Highlanders came and they had a guy break his leg, so obviously touching wood, that doesn't happen to anyone here today.
It's been a big week. The Natixis Rugby Gala dinner was held midweek. Of course, the big name there was Dan Carter. He was immediately put on the spot for a song by his Irish teammate. Too happy about that.
Can he actually sing?
Not that I'm aware of. He can do just about anything else.
I was going to say, that's the one thing he can't do. He is human after all.
Well, what do you do? Singing or walking on water? Which one do you want?
Oh, mate, I'd rather sing, to be honest.
It's a bit unsteady on the feet, does Kariza. And I don't think he's been convinced to leave. I think he's just slowly getting out of the way. Strong from the middle of the line out the Sharks, and Lowe takes it in. He's already had plenty to do today. Right. Picks out another runner. Sharks doing a lot of work and around the ball. It's a good defence though by Wasing. Priya misses everybody. Comes back. Pimpy. Right, here he goes. Picks up one of his big hitters. We're looking to just push the tempo here. Sense that the Sharks are pretty keen to play it quickly, but Worley well positioned. And the favoured side for the right footer. It's a good touch finder. Play on though from the Sharks. It's good to see them keeping the ball alive.
They're definitely not scared of throwing the ball around, Jed.
Right, short side play for the Cell Sharks. Right, digs in again and sets up the box kick. Big through on it, low. Oh, he snatches and grabs. That's good play. Sorry, it's the winger, Cobus van Wyk.
It seems that's definitely a tactic of the Sharks. They're trying to unsettle Matt Worley. That's about, I think that's the third or fourth kick they put down to him.
Still going, Pimpy with room. Oh, it's been pulled back. Has he been pulled back? It's a try. I thought I'd heard a whistle. I think I just heard a shriek of joy as Pimpy opens the score. 5-0 for the Sharks. And Makazola and Pimpy. Straight line finish for the speedster. As we watch, they overload the outside channel, Junior, and once it gets in this bloke's hands, it's all over.
Yeah, mate, they're definitely showing their cards here. They're not messing around. They want to play quick ball as much as they can. The Sharks actually looking at their size, their players. They're big guys, they're athletic, so it's a different setup to the Racing guys. They're actually quite solid and built, and I guess that plays into the Super Rugby as well, where it's quite a fast game.
Robert du Preez. Good early test of du Preez's skill. Literally no breeze to consider. Maybe the odd tourist bus.
Push that a bit wide.
Well, aim small, miss small, wasn't that the call? 5-0 the score, the Sharks leading, Wasting 92. 9 minutes gone in the Texas Rugby Cup for 2018. As we look at the finishing of the try.
It's great hands there by the Sharks. There's no stopping him on him once he got the ball in his hands. He was away. He saw that white line. He was gone.
On backwards.
I didn't even really think he got it out of first gear, did he? Didn't have to. 20 metres untouched. The Sharks take a 5-0 lead. Right. Considers his options. Finds Vermeulen. Right, du Preez, the up and under. Yep. They've got their sights set on the young boy from Hong Kong. He does well, he holds his ground. That's some good confidence, young Worley.
Yeah, Jed, I think if the Sharks, if they're going to be putting bombs up on Worley, they need to be getting to his face earlier. I mean, they're kicking, but their chases aren't getting through quick enough, so he's got a bit of time under the ball. But fair play to Worley, he's done well. He's taken all 4 kicks thrown them so far.
Harry Barron goes long down the tram tracks, and du Preez replies. On out restart in front of the main grandstand. But du Preez family are pretty well connected to the Sharks team.
White, what have we got? White.
Savi,
Former Queensland Red.
some would say he's seen the light. Taken well at the back.
That's a good set. No.
Boris Palu.
Use it now.
Harry Barron plays one out. There's a strong contrast in style there. Big units of Racing 92. Notice the rate at which they turned the ball over.
Hope for a bit more distance on that kick there, Jed, but I guess it's out. It's safe.
Well, they've been preparing for this game in Hong Kong for a number of weeks now, and it's delightful to see a strong turnout for the game. Some might remember this pitch from a few years ago with the famous international call-off between Hong Kong and Japan. As Racing 92 swiftly out along the back line. Rokafoko.
Showing you still got it there, Big Joe. Stuck out that big don't argue.
Backwards.
Comes back and Harry Barron slots in. Good flat pass to Ave. They keep it up, keep it close to the gain line, and Harry Barron, he's looking for someone to breach for him. He can't find them. Boris Palu looming up just outside him there. Now they go number 8 for Racing.
Counter ruck spot.
Fa'asa'o. He's a great big man. Well,
He's a
Naylor.
large lump of a lad, I tell you.
And a passenger plate. It's good to see Racing get their hands on the ball and make some metres.
Yeah, they're definitely taking the close route. Quite different to the Sharks, who are trying to throw it wide and make yards through kicking, but the Racing guys are definitely playing up the jumper rugby for the moment.
Crouch.
Scrum time and Racing 92 in a good part of the paddock.
Sit.
We see them unleash Rokafoko and of course one them off.
You'd think Joe Rokafoko would come here off number 10, just short ball, make some yards, then quick balls to the backs. We'll see.
Crouch. 5. Sit.
And they drop now. Racing 92. Henry Barron feeds away. Rokafoko goes around the back line with Vuli into space. He's taken one round. A high contact. There's an advantage played for Racing 92. Rokafoko reaches. Oh, he might have had to relock himself then. They're lining up to get into the action here. Palu. Go too wide. Hitting the
Release. Tackle.
prop. Noginava. This is Palu again. And Baker brings them back.
There's definitely a high shot around the chops there on Vuli.
Well, they all had eyes for Rokafoko, and they just let Vuli run. And he ran.
He ran a 20-metre dummy line then, Rokafoko. He ran from one side to the other, and then nearly scored in the corner.
So, Racing opting for the attacking line out, and We're going to see our first real forward tussle of the days. Robert Messi goes to Ducalcon. Harry Barron just untidy and just a lack of concentration as well. Put that one down to the midweek social activities.
Mate, there may be a little bit of a hangover from the week's events, mate, but they're all professional athletes. I don't think that would have been happening. Maybe too much water. Or the cold got to them.
Possibly the cold here in Hong Kong at the moment. Certainly a game changer. And the Sharks off the hook. Racing. Let the opportunity slip. Right. Baker calls it. Low. Now right. And the exit play is pretty successful.
Not a bad clearance from the 9 there. Takes the pressure off for a while.
Cameron Wright, he's a fierce looking competitor by the look of things. He has the steely gaze. Harvey. Bounces freely into space. As far as eventually gets to the ground. A little pop pass back on the inside. Clever stuff.
The Gregan ball lives.
There's Palu, Boris Palu. He's had plenty of carries so far today. Eventually get it down and on the ground. Harry Barron, Ricky Foko, trying to play the 3-card shuffle. Oh, it's untidy, isn't it? Scrappy stuff. Still comes away. Volley. Has a go at some space. Shuts down pretty quickly. Strong hit coming in from Schumann.
Oh, pass to you, Jed.
I don't know how you explain that. What would you say about that in the video analysis?
It was the wind, mate. The wind picked up. Yeah, he won't be happy with that pass. I mean, I would have been, but I don't think he is.
Hopefully we'll just wipe that one from the memory banks, ladies and gentlemen. Professional athletes out there this afternoon playing festival rugby. The Sharks now with the throw-in. Beautifully taken. Superb work by the Sharks. They bring it down and they get the tail long and the ball goes back. And now they start edging away. It's a big old pack in front of them though. Plenty to push on. Done by the Sharks. Still they stay with it. Top work by the Sharks. This is great ball.
It's a great play by the Sharks.
Fantastic work by the Sharks, and they break through. Sharks now looking for support. Daniel goes to ground. Now they move it. The race. Cameron Wright looks for his options. The prayer says keep it on the inside, and Lowe goes over the line. The Sharks are in again. It's 10-0.
Again, Jed, the Sharks are showing their intentions. They're not letting anything go. They're straight over the ball. Halfbacks there, straight out wide as soon as they can. Offloads through every pass. They're looking like they're just really trying to throw this ball around and play running rugby. Tire out these big French forwards, I guess.
It's number 6. Thunderbolt did well to keep the ball alive, and then the Sharks have been noting how quickly they're able to turn the ball around. Dupree actually called the ball to stay in here, and he's done particularly well to get that ball away. It's a well-constructed try from a rolling ball.
That last pass looked like it might have been a touch forward, Jed. I wouldn't mind seeing that again, but it's a try. The ref said it's a try, so we'll move on.
It's good to move on. We'll put it behind us. Priya converts. It's 12-0. The Sharks leading Wessing 92 at the Natixis Rugby Cup in Hong Kong for 2018. Try scorer Marius Lowe. He's done a tower of work already.
Interesting to note, Jed, no teams are committing guys to the breakdown. They make one tackle, there's one guy there, and the rest is fanning out.
Now the Sharks collect the restart confidently. Rick Hands putting the ball into space. Just a little knock on, spotted by referee Baker.
Another forward getting a little bit too excited there, wanted to pick the ball up. Backs love that. Clean ball, forward just gets a little bit of itchy palms, puts his hands down, knocks it on.
21 and a half minutes gone, first quarter slips by, 12 points in the game so far. Tried to Pimpy, a try to Marius Lowe, on conversion to Robert Dupriya.
It's been outstanding rugby so far, Jed. Neither team are putting up the jumper and just playing born rugby. They're throwing it around. Even though Racing are playing it tight, they're actually playing it tight and offloading. So it's quite a spectacle for the local crowd.
A little bit of interplay between the loose forwards and a little bit of flair. Is that what we're witnessing from Racing 92? Is Harry Barron, and he picks up Klassen. Immediately gets taken back to where he came from.
No, don't skip.
Counter-ruck by the Sharks. Against the advice of referee Baker. Tap and go by Harry Barron. What have they got out wide if they find anybody at all? It's a midfield set for Wessing. Albacete sets up the ball. Harry Barron. Poke forward for Worley. He had a little look at it.
Worley should have gone for that.
He's in there, the youngster. And now Cameron Wright assesses his options. Maybe finding a little bit more angle for the exit here. And indeed, trusty boot of Cameron Wright sends it into touch. So, territory is theirs. Just don't have the points at the moment. The feeling they blow off a little bit of the rust that they've gained on the travel. Probably the fine food, the extraordinarily fine wine they've been going through this week. And once they find their pace, this could turn into a pretty action-packed game. Evade, they go deep. Now Racing set up a wall of their own and they break free. They slide a hand from the pack. Barron. What's he got there? Oh. Tried everything to give himself every opportunity.
I think the bounce of the ball confused Joe Rokithoka there. He's a few yards in front of it and bounced behind him, but beat them all.
Well, he's got that X factor. He's always had it. Scored some incredible tries for New Zealand. Racing now. He's back at the far side. Nove gets his hands on the ball. Finally the ball to ground for Racing.
Use it now.
Harry Barron. Yeah, Boris Palu.
Sharks are quite fast up indeed, Jed. They're not giving the Racing guys any momentum at all. Stopping them in their tracks, and they've actually lost ground the last two plays.
Harry Barron finds a Vay.
Tackle fight.
Looking just straight into the action. Oh, there's a pop pass there for Klassen. Couldn't hold on to it. Still behind the game line stuff for Wessing. The blitzing defence is being led by Vermeulen on that occasion. Dupree Company affect the next tackle. With their enthusiasm off the mark, it's quite noticeable, isn't it?
They're definitely off the mark quickly. They're not offside, obviously, because the ref's not picking it up. So, no, I think that's obviously a key to their rugby. They're just getting up in their face and putting the pressure on Racing.
A little dart by Jabir. Rokothoko goes wide. Worley now. No real space for him. Secures the ball. Henry Barron. Jabir. And it'll come back. Looks like for a penalty.
A little high shot on Worley there. Counted that to the local boys, come on, fellas.
Robbins racing, as they say. $12-0 the score. 26 coming up to 27 minutes gone. The 2018 Texas Rugby Cup here in Hong Kong. Missing 92 through the boot of Teddy Baran. Sets the line up. Line out now. Down inside Sharks territory. As Rob Naylor has pointed out, super aggressive, fast moving defence by the Sharks. Basically been battering Racing 92 back towards the halfway line.
Jed, it's quite interesting. The players, their fitness must be so high. These guys aren't even blowing hard. It's been a high tempo game.
Right through the middle comes Vermeulen. It's turned over though. Broken away, it's a shame. The set piece, a little pretty untidy from Wessing. Now, Rokothoko threads himself into the action, but he's taken by Dupree and low. To come around. Big prop, Tuckervin. Excuse me, Goginava.
Defence is just ruthless from the Sharks. They're not giving Racing an inch at all. And Racing is starting to get frustrated. They're looking like they're running out of options.
They'll be looking. You have to press the button and start going the tempo option there themselves, I think.
Fight fire with fire, I always say.
It's one of the big hitters for the Sharks. Get some running repairs. The block, Ruan Porter. Running repairs, sorry. Here he is, the prop. Thomas Detroit. Tight head. Detroit, tight head.
Very tight head. We knew it would come, didn't we, Jed?
We'll be leaving straight after the game. I won't be looking forward to shaking hands with him.
And I'm hiding behind you, it's fine.
Slow moving target, ladies and gentlemen. Back for a start.
Cameras love Joe Rokothoko. He's getting a lot of airtime today.
He's a magical man. You see something special out of him. You never know. You never can tell. Sure he's already sorted out the local carver session, Joe.
I'm sure there's one being had already.
Suppose Flex Kalik has got everybody lined up. Local Hong Kong International from Lawrence, Central Otago.
Here's it now.
And they work it out. There's Cameron Wright. Absolutely slugs it down the pitch. Worley. And return play for Racing. Takes the restart up to just inside their own half.
Tried and tested a game plan there from the Sharks. They've done it from the beginning. They've got out of their own territory, put it down to into Racing's half, and then once they get there, they run it from everywhere.
Another line out Franco Moraes. Oh, that would have floated forward. We'll let that one go, we'll move on.
We will, and swiftly, Jed.
Tap and go here for the Sharks. Van der Walt.
Sure, that can't be 10.
Now Wright, Cameron Wright. He just about gets it away to the big red. Who can't quite put a finger on it. Which is unfortunate.
It's great to see, Jed. It's a good spectacle. There's the Sharks throwing the ball around. Great for the crowd. I'm just tired watching.
And Robert Dupree places the ball down, and they're in the red zone now, the Sharks. See a third try of them. First half is still here.
Pass, Jed. This is the right. Oh, no.
It's the penalty play. He was away. Philip Van der Walt. At least I thought he was. Here's the. Well, that went down pretty quickly, ladies and gentlemen. In the end, another penalty. The Sharks bring them in for the scrum. I don't think there's anyone looking about going to the polls today. I'm happy to stand them up for the line out one more time. So Dupree puts it in the corner. We're likely to see the Sharks try and flex a bit on this Racing 92 pack.
There's definitely some size behind that Sharks pack. I'm interested to see how they go with a short ball, drive more here.
Race goes down the back. He's looking for Lewis. To the ground it goes. Cameron Wright. Pick and go from Philip Van der Walt. Can't quite get there. It's been turned over and pinched, and Boris Palu comes away with it. Harvey. He takes on Vermeulen. Larry Barron, he's playing hide and seek with that super aggressive Sharks defence. Dupree fields the ball. Now, Sharks up and out of their 22. Expect the kick to come. Card it through. Ryan Bolther. There's the hoist from Wright. Superbly taken. That's an outstanding take. Wide ball. Some space now for the Racing 92 back line as
Let's get this tempo here. They need to speed the ball up. That's it.
Worley
Nice little fend.
takes on 4. Lays the ball back nicely.
First man, he's got it.
Lost. Now Wright. Cameron Wright. Great work from the prop, Schumann. In there like a dart. Keep the ball alive, and that one drifts just marginally forward.
Seen worse passes today, Jed. Go unnoticed. Thought that one would have been all right.
Just get the feeling that one of these teams isn't too far away from fully clicking.
Yeah, just those last passes, you think that sort of maybe the second half they'll get into their rhythm, and hopefully we'll see an open flowing game. A few more pies.
3 minutes gone. Referee Baker. It's a good test of his physical readiness. He's away to Europe shortly to officiate the Women's Six Nations. As he's probably got a very busy schedule ahead as we watch the closing plate.
It's good from this angle, Jed.
This camera work from our production team this afternoon. As the action continues, 12-0. And just some running repairs to the big men. Interesting to know what the pack weights are here, Junior.
I was looking at it before. I think, as I said earlier, I think the Racing team seems to be quite a heavier set forward pack, and the Sharks seem to be a big pack, but they're mobile. Would be interesting to see though. There's some tall boys in there though.
There's a squeeze coming on from Wasting 92, and up they go at the front. Klassen, he releases. Imhoff. Klassen on the workaround. Harry Burren. I saw Harry Burren. Joubert. But again, that Shark defence is up fast. Taking time and space away. Forcing the decision makers to make their play, possibly when they're not comfortable in doing so.
Racing guys just got to keep the ball now, keep the momentum going. Nice quick tap and a snipe from the 9 there.
But I saw taking a huge, pretty big hit from both the Shark skipper. Shy about getting about, putting the shoulders on them.
He's not getting any forward ball there, the Racing. Sharks just up in their faces early.
Got to go over the top, and they do. And it comes to Shuzanu. Ball is out. You heard Tim Baker make the call, and Cameron Wright.
I think how he's got that away.
Literally pulled a Jean-Claude Van Damme there. Urgent ball, Matt Worley in a little bit of trouble. They'll have to go for the box of tricks that every fullback has to sort of keep the ball and stay out of trouble.
He's done well there, and he's won a penalty. That's great work. Definitely tested him out there. He's getting tested by your own teammates. It's always a good thing when someone throws a shot like that. He's pulled through, the young fella.
Oh, the forwards love it.
Sure they do. They look like they love it at the moment.
Harry Burren inside the final 5 minutes of the opening half. Shots don't quite shine at the moment, but there's a good crowd that's built up on the public side of the field. Some good numbers, some good banter happening in there.
And I'm sure that stand smells a bit like mothballs at the moment. Some of these jackets wouldn't have seen the light of day for quite a few years being in Hong Kong.
Drake to the front, a little bit of jiggery pokery at the front of the line out for Racing 92. There's a halfback causing trouble, as they always tend to do. Now there's
a little bit of niggle.
There's grabbing and there's thrusting and there's postulating and there's.
Oh, here we go.
Why can't we all just get along? There's someone's going to be. There we go. Working out who's going to be dancing with who later on. Klassen. He looks eager. So a little bit of chesty behaviour. Junior, are you still here?
I'm still here, mate. I was just admiring. I was just watching the scrum halves.
Got a funny feeling he might have run off by now. Well,
always good to see a bit of niggle.
Very emotional. Very emotional.
Just
There's
means
possibly some millennials in this team.
It just means that the team's rough for it, you know. They obviously don't see the fixture, just a bit of a joke game. They're in there.
Well, Teddy Iri-Burren is obviously because he's tried to discuss things physically with Jacques Vermeulen.
He's obviously
that's an interesting decision.
He's obviously larger at counts, old Teddy. I mean, not many scrum halves to do that, I'll tell you that much.
Harvey with the ball in, it's almost dragged back by Palu. Racing now. Finding a little bit of go forward, but they're in trouble if they can't get this down on the ground. He's off his feet. They've got to let him go. I think they've turned that over. Sharks have got the strength to hang in there with them.
Great turnover again from the Sharks. They seem to be, whenever they get down their own territory, they seem to flick the switch and their D steps up another level, and they've managed to do quite a few turnovers.
Natixis Rugby Cup for 2018 returned to Hong Kong for Racing 92. And great to have the Sharks in town this week as well. Top tourists helping promote the game of rugby union in Asia as we all get ready for Japan in 2019.
Certainly going to be a great time for rugby in Asia, Jed, as you said. World Cup in Japan in 2019, next year.
Dupree out. Next one absolutely rip off the right foot. As we just meander into the half-time break. It's a considered thought. It's considering faces on the crowd watching. Short ball 2-2. Done well, Racing. That was a sort ball.
Release ball.
Just looked a little bit in two minds there. Interesting to see what would happen if he made it up early. Boris Palu.
Tackle.
Baran, Shubir, Rokithoko floating off his wing and round towards him. All sorts of trouble. Turn it over, Yeri Baran. Shuzanu can't hold on to it. It's fine.
Starting to push that past Racing. I think they're going to be a little bit frustrated with the D-line from the Sharks, trying to catch them out with short offloads.
As referee Tim Baker calls in the half-time whistle, and at the 40-minute mark, and the Racing 92 Sharks fixture here for the Natixis Rugby Cup 2018. Half-time score 12-0. The Sharks leading Racing 92. We come back, some half-time coverage and a review of what's gone down in the first 40. As well as that, we've got a very special interview coming your way.
First of all, a huge thank you to Natixis. We will continue to support as the title sponsor of this event. Thanks to LR12, the official gear of the Natixis Cup. And Yogi Studios, the fitness center of choice for both teams while they're here in Hong Kong. Student Radio and Rugby Pass for broadcasting the event live. Team One for bringing the event to Hong Kong, and of course, the Hong Kong Rugby Union for hosting the event. Thank you to all the sponsors. We really do appreciate your support of this event.
Welcome back to Hong Kong and Aberdeen Sports Ground, where the Natixis Rugby Cup for 2018 continues. Half-time score, the Sharks leading Racing 92, 12 points to 0. Let's go down now pitch side for a very special interview. Rob Naylor has, well, one of the greatest rugby players we've seen grace the fields. Over to you, Rob.
I'm lucky enough to have with me here Dan Carter, Racing 92 fly half. Dan, welcome back to Hong Kong. You're enjoying your third time here?
Yeah, it's I've been here a few times now. It's great to be in Hong Kong and see so many people come out for the match, especially so many children. Hopefully we can help inspire the youth and get them involved in rugby. So it's great to be back in here in Hong Kong.
You weren't tempted to throw the boots on this week?
Yeah, I was really tempted, to be honest. Played here against the Highlanders a couple of years ago and had a lot of fun, but unfortunately just got a little niggle and having to sit and watch and support the boys today.
And how's the niggle coming along?
Yeah, it's good. It's I've been rehabbing it, pretty hard over the last couple of months, and just started to get back playing again. So obviously got some big rugby ahead of us. Qualifying for the European final stages, and we're sitting pretty well at second in the French competition. So some exciting rugby ahead of us.
So Dan, obviously it's mid-season in France. You've come here. Do you guys treat this as an exhibition game, or is it a continuation of your season, or is it a chance to blood young players?
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to blood young players. It's a bit of an exhibition game where we have to introduce a few new guys. It's been a pretty demanding 6 months for us. So it's good to get a hit out and test ourselves against a Southern Hemisphere side like the Sharks.
And mate, obviously we've got the local boy Matt Worley running out today. How do you think he's gone?
Yeah, it's good. I'm sure he's really enjoying it, playing in front of his family and friends, obviously being a local Hong Kong boy. It's great to see him sort of make the switch over to France and doing well over there.
Mate, thanks very much, Dan, and back to you, Jed.
3 times player, World Player of the Year, Dan Carter, the least and left foot. He's always a welcome sight wherever he goes in the rugby universe. Let's check out the highlights of the first half action. 12 points to 0, there's a half-time score. And it got underway in a very kind of steady way as far as the Sharks were concerned. They were happy to play the game at tempo. They're very keen to show the ball a lot of air. And they managed to crack Racing open wide. And then Pimpy, well, that was a walk. That was a dawdle for the man who's just got oodles and oodles of pace. Is Racing 92 just overloaded out wide, and look, from the 22, absolutely no one else in the frame as Pimpy opens the scoring for the Sharks. Sharks run again, midway through the half, through Lowe, and he's a workaholic, this inside centre. He loves to get on the job. Got an action-packed backline of the Cell C Sharks as the crowd look on with anticipation for the next half. And a few bevies going down. Rob Naylor's done a quick lap of the track to warm himself back up.
Mate, it's pretty cold out there.
Did you sign an autograph for him?
Mate, I did, yeah.
Junior?
Gave him my phone number. He's going to give me a call later, give me some tips.
Probably needs all the help he can get. Who better to go to than Junior Naylor?
Mate, I was good, just ask me.
So,
looking forward to a good second half here, Jed. I think Racing might sort of show some more intention now to throw the ball around, hopefully. They've probably got those cobwebs out.
17 days of winter. They're quickly coming to a close. Not fast enough for you, though, Rob Naylor, by the look of things, as Racing 92 make their way back out there. Mr. Klassen, who was involved in an exchange of, well, words, actions and emotions.
Yeah, I didn't think he liked the look of the beard on one of the Sharks players, mate. He got a bit upset with it.
It's Robert Dupree. First 5'8", it's fly half.
Call it as you wish, Jed. Call it as you wish.
Sends it high, wide and handsome, and it's down to the 22 and Vandervoort. I don't know how he got himself through there. It's not like you can't notice the guy. Big shock of red here. Say shock of red here, we mean it.
Find himself at home in a lock as well as on the flanker. Jed, he's quite a tall young man.
Certainly an athlete. Sharks, Vermeulen. I've seen him getting around and walloping people. Super Rugby. So they come back for the restart. 12-0's the score. Texas Rugby Cup, Hong Kong 2018. Terrific opportunity for the Hong Kong rugby community to come together again. Celebrating the game of 15s. It's Hong Kong, the party that started the party. Hong Kong Sevens back in April.
A few short weeks, Jed, it's back on. And, the excitement in town's already started.
Never far away from anybody's thoughts, is it?
No longer than it's over. It's you think about your costumes for the next year, mate.
So, replacement halfback comes on for Racing 92. Xavier Chauveau. And one out on the play again. A few changes in these Racing 92 side over half time. All part of the greater plan, the bigger picture, I'm sure. Referee Baker brings him in for a reset via the scrum. Who's going to follow the first shot here? They'll be absolutely licking their chops to get some points on the board. We Racing 92.
Fortunately for Racing 92, the ball's at the wrong end of the pitch for them. The Sharks will be looking to capitalise on this and hopefully get an early score on the board.
Front row find something reasonably amusing to laugh about. Obviously something pretty intelligent.
Definitely rocket science chats there, I guess, mate.
Crouch. 5. 6.
Right. And goes. So no real changes at the moment for the Sharks is right. Prayer and they float wide and over the top for Van Wyk. Oh, the ball back on the inside. They've just torn Racing wide open there. And Lowe goes in for a second.
They haven't. They're taken off where they left in the first half, Jed. They're throwing the ball around. That wide ball from Sendell was a great ball.
There it is. Sharks back to their old tricks. Try number 3 for them.
Oh, it's tremendous work. Let's just take a look at this again. No look. He's put him into the space beautifully. How he stayed out, I don't know how he stayed in. Tremendous work by the Sharks. That'll sting Racing 92. It may sting them into action, but either way you look at it, it was a slap around the nose for them. Second try for the match for Marius Lowe. Deservedly so too. It's been impressive.
He's been a workhorse, this Marius Lowe, in the first half, and he's taken off where he left his mark in the first half.
There's the angle for Robert Dupree.
What happened to the old sand fatigues, Jed? Great strike, straight through.
Terrific kick from Dupree, and that's a conversion. CLC Sharks move ahead pretty smoothly. 19 points to 0 now. Score coming out of the halftime break was crucial.
Sharks will be happy with that start, Jed. Off the mark early. As long as they don't go into a defensive mode, which it doesn't look like they are, they'll keep attacking. Hopefully get a few more scores before the day's out.
So right back to Dupree and from inside his 22. Singles out Matt Worley. Deep for Racing 92. He finds Klassen, who straight into the contact of Borthwick. Aroy Kifoko, ball in hand. This is his footing. Available for Racing, and well, Chuvenu had to do a lot of work to try and drag that back, and now the Sharks quite happy to once again give the ball some air, just a foot on the line for Funwick.
Unlucky there. Sharks definitely showing that they want to really want to open this game up now. Throw caution to the wind, throw the ball around a little bit. Sure the forwards aren't too happy with that, but they'll get over it.
What's your numbers, Blue?
Just make them thirstier.
6.
Evade. Stolen by the Sharks. Well, now they're starting to dominate.
Back foot white.
One out for Detroit. Right onto the foot. Probably.
You won't be happy with that.
No,
kick.
you won't be very happy with that at all. It's gone nowhere, really. Fallen nicely for Racing 92. They can get over the gain line. This is a big run now. A bit of go forward for the Racing 92 team. Baker brings them back for the penalty.
I want to play this fast, I'd imagine.
Rolling away
Put it to
is
the corner.
Tanner DeWitt, referee Tim Baker's call. Jabir angles the kick down, so an attacking opportunity potentially for Racing 92. We've seen them let it slip off the hook a couple of times in the first half. Expect them to be a bit more focused about their job. 19 points down. Moving into the final half hour of play of the Natixis Rugby Cup. It's Arve with the ball.
I think this is right up the Racing 92's wheelhouse there. Short throw in, drive over and hopefully get a try here.
Albacete went up there and now they've brought him down. They're only inches away.
Advantage to Racing.
Onside black.
Comes out. Look at the huge frame of the big front row. Just about leant over.
Hands up. Short. Release.
Some feverish work going in there. Another crack at the line. He can't get there. Good stern
try.
defence.
That's over.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
Has to be over.
Good eyes from here, Robert Naylor. Referee
the only
Baker's
thing
called
there would
time
be-
off. He's going to ask the question. They'll go into the process.
I think the only thing stopping that from a try, Jed, is if he stopped first and took it over on his second attempt. But I think he took it over and just pushed it down. And there it goes. That's definitely a try. There we go. Over. Not much is going to stop a guy that size from 2 metres out, Jed. I'll tell you
I
that
wouldn't
much.
have thought so.
I don't know if he realises over the try line. Not often. It's probably not often he's over the try line, to be honest.
Certainly brought him back, so I think Baker's awarded the try. And a try has been awarded. So, the opening try for Racing 92 comes in the 50th minute of the game.
It's game on.
And the referee calls it try for Racing 92.
It's fly half. Joubert for the conversion. And he's on target.
Nice nudge.
19-7, Racing 92. Well, will they chase down the dream at Aberdeen this afternoon? Half an hour left to play. 12 points to draw even, 13 points to take the lead. That's about the extent of my mathematics done.
You can put your calculator on now, Jed. It's all right.
It's run out of batteries anyway. So some changes now being made to the Sharks outfit.
Mass changes now. That's just.
The lights taking effect now at the Aberdeen International Sports Ground Arena.
Not the highest lights, Jed. There are probably the lowest lights in Mod Rugby.
Ball bobbles around for Racing 92. Get it in hand finally though. The ball pushed deep, collected by Timbu. Run on the outside by April. Now brought back in. So was that Dupree hanging out there on the wing, possibly? Float the ball over the top, and now the Sharks looking to get themselves into a bit of space.
Oh,
The nudge
great
forward,
play.
that's great skill.
Oh,
Unfortunate. Terrible thing, the rugby ball. It's got a mind of its own. That could have been something pretty special from the number 8, Keegan Daniel.
definitely a skillful play. That was a great play. Held it in one hand, little grubber through. Wanted to work on his skills with his fly half a little bit, maybe. That was great. With his offload here was brilliant.
He's done well. He's a balanced runner, isn't he? He's what an athlete.
He's kicked out with his shin, but will forgive me. He's a forward.
Train of the week for those plays. Line out defensively for Racing. Complete.
Release! No.
16 for Racing. 92 is Afatia. Chauvu. Joubert, I'm sorry.
You might notice, Jed, there's quite some high numbers in this picture of players up to 26 and 27 for both sides. They've agreed they'll take more than the 23 players. So the Sharks have probably, I think, 9 reserves, and Racing have 8. So
Everybody's getting a run.
don't be surprised if you see a number 25 or a 28 running around the pitch.
Pop ball for Lowe, and he finds great space on the inside line, and he's still punching away at it right. Manhandled somewhat is Mtembi.
Check all! No balls available.
Takes it into contact. Sorry, there was Garth April, number 26. They're still going the Sharks. Fair to say it was never going to come out of there in a hurry. Like a dollar bill out of your wallet, Junior. It's all locked up.
I don't carry dollar bills, you should know that.
$19-7, the score. Just got the ability of the Sharks team when they start getting the ball into space. It looks like they can absolutely tear the legs off them.
Yeah, their forwards are great at playing this quick ball. They basically hit the ruck, they drop the ball and it's away quickly. And obviously, I think it just goes to show that this athletics and size and mobility of these big forwards is proven to be beneficial to the Sharks.
Comments from former Hong Kong international Rob Naylor.
We got you guys on. Let me sort this out.
As we continue on, coming up to, well, just on 54 minutes gone. And the Natixis Rugby Cup for 2018. Defending scrum for Racing.
5, 6.
Comes back, and the exit play for Racing should be pretty straightforward. Not a bad result either for the French side. As Dan Carter said, it's been a busy old year already for this Racing team. They're doing pretty well in the European competition. As well as that, they're sitting second in the top 14. Brand new stadium. It's been a big year.
They've got a busy few months ahead, they have.
Oh, Dupree sits up beautifully for him. Here's some skill coming from the Sharks. Vermeulen carts it forward and they've turned them round. Can they turn them inside out? Oh, there was almost a sneaky hand in the cookie jar there.
Tell you what, Jed, some of these Sharks forwards will be home in Hamilton at the moment playing for the South African Sevens team. The hands are brilliant.
Well, it was a interception play more out of desperation than anything else. Wound the back 40 metres on, just outside the clutches. Jabir.
If he had taken that, I think he would have been away though. It would have been curtains there. Sharks can do here. Wholesale change in their backs. New centre, new fly half, new number 8.
5, 6.
Right. Feeds.
Guys, stay.
Released. He finds Kerwin Bosch, who puts it on the toe, and now they're starting to flood this racing defence. Wright will be looking for his options. Flat ball, fast ball. Managed to wriggle free again. Racing. The pressure's starting to build.
Balls available.
Sharks
No, 3. Leave it once.
starting to run themselves into a bit of space.
Number 5.
Wright taps and goes. Not back to 10.
There.
Free Baker will be just explaining the finer points of him being in charge.
Yeah, the Racing played didn't look too happy there with the ref decision, but as we all know, mate, the ref decision's final. No matter how much you disagree with it, you just grin, bear it, walk back,
Move on.
move on.
Oh, Cameron Wright. Certainly been directing the ship around during the course of the day.
He's fed his backs well. Cameron Wright has. He's got to the breakdown very quickly and fed them.
So a good attacking opportunity now for
Hold one.
the Sharks.
If you're a betting man, you'd back the Sharks to go over the next minute or so
Just
here.
about back them in, wouldn't you?
You would have to.
Right.
Short
Finds
ball.
Bosch and low. Just half a shoulder getting away there, wasn't he? So they plug away on it same side and falls back, and Wright might go on his own. In fact, he does. And the halfback's rewarded with a try, and so he should be. He's been one of the best on pitch today so far.
Bit of an opportunist try there, but he'll take it, I guess. Anytime you go over the white line's a special moment.
It's another try for the Sharks. Just watch here. They just keep ghosting along. And look at
Great
that.
hands.
That's great
Show and
catch
go.
at first slip, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, Cameron Wright scores the try and then checks out of the game. He doesn't have to do too much more than that.
He's had a good day. You'd think this might be a little bit of a lead, pretty hard to come back from for Racing, but you never know.
Well, they just haven't really been allowed to fire a shot as Bosch lines up his conversion attempt. And it's just across the face of the goal. He pointed out earlier in the broadcast, Junior, that smothering defence, that enthusiasm to get off the line and shut the racing team down or stop them from really getting any kind of go for it.
No, that's been the key, Jed, definitely. They are, from the outset, they've just been in their face all day, shutting them down early. Racing just had no answer. "20 minutes to go." You'd think that the 24-7 lead might be assailable there, but as I said, rugby's a funny game. Anything could happen.
Vermeulen gets the ball back to Nkosi.
One thing for sure though, Racing going to need to get their hands on the ball. They're not going to win anything in defence.
Bosch gives it the big dummy, and then he carts it up 1 metre short of the halfway. Sharks just quite happy to move them around. They single out Worley again, and certainly had the advantage on the kicking game. Worley's reply down the grandstand touchline's pretty good from the youngster.
You happy with that?
He's had a lot to do today. He's had a wee couple of little sniffs up in the line, has Matt Worley, but he's played pretty much the percentages.
Racing just haven't had the ball. They haven't been able to get it wide. Sharks aren't slowing down. They're not going into their defensive mode either, Jed. They're putting the ball back down to the territory of Racing, and they're continuing to attack, which is good to see.
Pulled down by 19, Andrews. Another one of the 26 players on each side. Everyone's getting a run, which is fair enough. They've come a long way, these guys. Had a good week.
They both come with hefty squads. It's good to see they've been out supporting local rugby. As Dan said during his halftime interview, it's always good to spread the word of rugby around Asia, especially with next year, the World Cup. Obviously as many players as we can get, especially Hong Kong, coming through the ranks, the better it is for the game.
So, scrum time for Racing 92.
In the right end of the pitch, let's see what they can do here.
Trevu.
Wouldn't say that's the straightest feed I've ever seen, but who am I to judge?
The penalty to Racing 92.
This to the corner, surely, Jed. Have a line out and a drive.
Well, for their Hong Kong-based fans, Racing, it'd be nice to see them fire a couple of shots in.
Yeah, I think if they're only hope of getting this game back into their hands, mate, they need to score the next couple of plays.
The ball, it's 18, it's a big lift up front.
So the smaller guys would be rather lifting the line out, but
Klassen with the ball, and he's got it tucked under the wing. The Sharks absolutely dismantled that ball head. They take the penalty against them though, but that's a workout on his own, getting Edwin Marker in the air.
But I didn't see he was lifting him, but I tell you what, they must have guns galore, mate. That'd be a good 120 kilos of prime beef right there.
Pretty sure that work and safety protocols say it's a forklift job.
Mate, as long as you bend your knees, keep your back straight, they're fine. Definitely is probably the biggest forward in the forward pack there.
They don't bother lifting him this time. Once is enough. I think they've learned their lesson up front as Marker takes the ball while standing on the ground. Now they flood into it. And who's just come bursting off the back? Fatia. He lays it back. Trevu, Ave now stepping in to the Sharks' defence. 22 is for All Black Anthony Tuatavake. Right in front of the black dot now. Lost forward is the call, so they're desperate indeed at both ends of the park. The Sharks as they repel another raid on their line.
They're not giving an inch to Sharks. They're rushing up in D in the other end, and at their own end of the pitch, they're just standing steadfast and chopping anything that comes their way. So it's a good lesson for anyone out there looking for a defensive game. The Sharks have been doing well.
So
Calf injury there, I'd say.
Also just an opportunity to stop. Which I'd be
I've seen better calves on a rugby pitch there, Jed.
Let's not get into that argument,
Had to bring it up.
Junior. As the Sharks prepare to scrum. Defensively under the sticks.
Must be half these international teams that come across here and play, Jed. If they're obviously used to playing at big stadiums with 5-10 metre in goals. They come here and you've got to scrum 5 yards out, and you've got got 2 yard dead ball line. Sorry, not a lot to play with. You'd expect the 8 to take it up here and give them a few yards.
Crunch. 5, 6, hold white.
They drop and start to see a little bit of grind go in as the Sharks manage to get it away. Reasonable bit of pressure though, and it comes down as far as Nambiali. Eventually lost forward, and
Things just aren't sticking for Racing, Jed. That is
somehow the Sharks
that
have been
last
able to
pass.
move themselves 30 odd metres down the track. Inside the final 15 minutes of the game, 24 points to 7 in the Texas Rugby Cup for 2018.
Good to see the boys having a bit of banter with the ref. Positive banter, of course. Chili boy Ralapelli there. There was big raps for him when he's in schooling. He went to Stellenbosch.
A wonderful part of the world.
I'll be there next week, sipping wines. Looking forward to it.
Eddie Craven Stadium. Marty's
5,
whole vibe is absolutely spectacular. There it is. It was winding some effort up
Cheeky
there.
9 there. Good work.
Where they run now, the Sharks. Playing for some width.
Some of the passes the Sharks have got away today, Jed, have been absolutely incredible. Just it amazes me how they actually get the ball away.
leave it white.
Scruffy, untidy play, but the Sharks still maintain possession.
Back foot. Tickle. No.
Williams, the halfback. His targets, barely.
Stay.
Williams onto the right foot. I'm off. Oh no, it's not. Number Ali. And 25 for Wasing, and the kick into space. Sharks are over the air. There's Bosch. Chip and chase.
He's looking for the bounce here. Oh,
Oh, great hands. Sensational reactions. And now Williams. They might get them in trouble here. The Sharks. Keegan Daniel.
Loves
He's
to put
put
the
it
ball on
on.
the toe. I'll tell
What
you
sort of chip is this? Oh. Could have been something special had we had those 25-metre dead ball line.
Exactly, Jed. Keegan Daniel loves to put the ball on the toe, doesn't he? Look at
He
that.
sized that up pretty well,
He did.
hasn't he?
Be disappointed with the back. Like, if I can kick it this good, how come you can't?
Well, number 8 for the Sharks, playing on a bit of a demonstration.
Certainly he's a skillful player. He's got all of it in his box of tricks. Some of the big boys looking a bit tired there. I think that the speed of the game starting to take its toll. A few red cheeks.
Super Rugby far from a start in 2018. Certainly want to get some miles in the legs of these players. Format, new season.
4 South African teams are first up. I think the 17th. Sure, these fellas will be glad to get back out of the cold, back into the warm weather in South Africa.
Big, strong, powerful effort from Racing 92. Virtually just steamrolled Shark scrum. Bright height for Racing 92 forward pack. It's a small victory. Restart will happen via the line out right in front of the VIP section of the grandstand.
Quite a few Texas scarves up in that grandstand there, Jed. Might get over there one later on. Wrap myself in one of those, I think.
Ball that's taken by the Sharks. Straight away they start stretching the Racing defence. Kosi testing them. Back to the middle of the field. Williams picks up Andrews. Rapaeli, he's next in line. Just keep rolling the Racing 92 pack backwards. Gathered by 92, so terrific work. What can they create out of this? Big shot. Absolute whopper.
Big bodies out in that right-hand side of the field. I'd be going there as well if I was a Racing player.
Well, Census Johnson is a big target.
Oh, there we go.
Well, there he goes again. And that is absolutely frightening, Edward Monk, to be honest.
It's frightening from 50 metres away.
There's a few mothers that have been clutching their children there as the Racing 92 team finds itself a little bit of space as a heat seeker goes flying over the top from low. And he came in like a human spear.
Definitely wouldn't have been a low tackle if he had a hit. I think he's probably lucky he didn't contact with that tackle. Probably going for an early shower, I'd say.
It's a big concern for the Sharks. I'm pretty sure they don't want to see Daniel going down hurting. Certainly against the boss's orders, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Look at this, Tuanavaki gets it on, and
Duck just in time, I think.
it's above. .24-17. The Sharks go long. Clever play. Clever enough, according to Tim Baker.
Got to go quick here.
Here goes Edwin Marker. He might back himself in here. I think he might beat if he goes backwards, to be fair. Little snipe from the halfback. They're always looking to do it. Close to the line. He feels 23 stone heavy. They scratch out a metre or two. Sharks defence though,
Ruthless.
been pretty staunch. It's been pretty much on target. Referee Baker brings them back. The penalty advantage. Oh,
No.
Census Johnson testing the Sharks defence. How much of this do you really want?
Pretty sure there's a few Sharks players out there glad didn't take that tap.
Yeah.
The scrum call may even come from one of them.
Okay. Slide the last 6.5 minutes. Clock counts down. Wonderful day of rugby union in Hong Kong. It's been an absolute treat to be part of the occasion once again. It's good to see the support for the game.
You're not wrong. It's definitely a good turnout today. And teams have done themselves justice, mate. They've come and thrown the ball around. It's been a very outstanding game of rugby. Haven't left the fans wanting, that's for sure.
It's been a good contrast of styles too. Particularly early on in the game, starting 15s. Pace and tempo and enterprise from the Sharks versus the straight up grunt, the Racing 92 side.
Sharks have done their damage the first 20s of both halves, Jed. They've thrown the ball around, got the points on the board, and then they've managed to hold them out. It's obviously that D, but they're enterprise in attack as well. They haven't given up. They've thrown the ball around and found the gaps, and obviously find themselves 17 points to good at the moment.
So the final 5 and a big 5. We hope from the Racing 92 side is Shavu with the ball. The heat goes on by Racing 92. Klassen comes off the back. He's isolated. And they're on him in a flash, the Sharks.
Got the advantage.
It's spilled out now. Look out, here's trouble for Asa'o.
Ball's back for Racing. They've got advantage here too, Jed. Interesting to see what they do here.
Shavu, he's looking at marker. He's got Census Johnson outside him. He's got an even bigger one inside him. There's a buddy. Esteban Abadi, now Shavu. Vuli.
Been quiet, Vuli. Did a few good runs early on, then sort of, I guess, haven't had the ball, have they? So
they've only been allowed to play as well as the Sharks have let them, and they've pressured them at every turn.
Exactly. I think the Sharks coaching staff will be very glad with the way they played. Off the line, they've put them under pressure in D and thrown the ball around attack. Another scrum. Those die-hard forwards out there, this is probably exciting for you guys, but for us backs, it's just
Riveting. It's thrilling.
It's just reminding us how cold we actually are.
Come here, mate. I'll keep you warm. So the game slowly coming to a conclusion. The Sharks taking their opportunities. More importantly, they've just shown just how difficult it is for even a team that can pack a real wallop like Racing 92 to penetrate some of the South African defence. Or you can just straight up dismantle it like they're doing at the moment. Klassen feeds it out, and in the end, it's the replacement halfback, Shavu, who dots down for Racing. 24-12 with the kick to come. It's the 78th minute, rolls by. Eventually, Racing 92 managed to get something on the board. 24-14, conversion successful. Rob Naylor.
A little bit too late, I think, for the Racing boys, but good to see they're playing till the end.
He is.
Grinding out a try.
Good to see Klassen take part in that scoring play. He's been a real contributor to the day. Getting around, clearing out rucks, pushing people around, saying a few angry things here and there.
He's definitely a competitor, I'll give him that.
The Sharks restart. It's been lost forward.
Coach's biggest nightmare there. Score a try, turn it over straight away.
Williams fires it out. Bosch goes a wee bit wider. Get the Sharks pile into that. Big hits coming in from Racing. Williams looks. Short ball to Vermeulen.
The double pump there. I think Vermeulen wasn't ready for it, but he's managed to regather.
Andrews carries. They turn it round. Good quick hands. Bosch
must
floats
score.
the target. Into touch it goes. Again, they threaten.
Great defence there from Klaassen. He was in there again. Just being a nuisance.
This is Kosi, and he's tried desperately to find somebody, anybody just about, to get that ball back to. Eventually, referee Baker brings him back for the penalty. And this would, you'd think,
Oh, he's
will
kicked
be,
that dead.
as they say in the trade, he's had a boer.
He won't be happy with that.
And Racing bring it back. And, well, you saw the look of absolute disbelief from Kerwin Bosch. He was, well, he'd be filthy on himself, wouldn't he?
He'd be upset. In the amateur days, he'd be worried about how many fines he'd get later on, Jed, but I think he's probably just worried about being berated by his coach after that effort, I think.
So he'd be on bags tonight.
He'd be cleaning a few pairs of boots as well, I'd say. Probably for the whole forward pack. They've had to pack down another scrum with 20 seconds left in the game.
Referee's time now as our clock ticks over. 24-14, the Sharks comfortably in front of Racing 92, but who knows what they conjure up from 90 metres out. Klaassen looks and he taps and he goes, and we're off and running. Racing 92 off to the races, perhaps, we'll see. We'll throw the dice to Tuatavaki. Keeps the ball alive. We'll be ducking and diving all over the show here in a moment. What's been lost, and now the Sharks take it. Another penalty for Racing. And this will have to be a tap, surely. No, they'll get the line out with this as well. Get the feeling that the kids are starting to circle. We're looking for an opportunity to get out on that field.
Security are going to have a bit of an issue trying to stop the kids getting out there.
I don't think there's any need to be stopping the kids getting out there.
They get out there.
People like you
some
and me,
water
they
out.
need to stop getting out there.
That's it, mate.
I can stop myself with a pie. Klaassen. Off they break, the Racing. Up the way up and over the 10-metre line. This looks a bit more inviting, a bit more enterprising from the French team. Unfortunately, you've got to have the ball when you score the points. Now the Sharks. Will they finish with a flurry? Or even a frenzy? The bounce pass. They work all week for once. Shots like that, and Bosch is looming up, and away they go. And the Sharks will finish the game. What a deadly attack from the South Sea Sharks.
And they've finished the game the way they want, the way they've started, just attacking from their own try line. It's a great effort by Sharks. You can't fault them for their effort today. All day in D, ruthless, and just threw the ball around and attack all day as well. It's great to see. It's been a great spectacle.
Well, Bosch, he was always on the perfect line. Great support play. He just goes over the line, and he'll get the opportunity to convert his own try. (29-12) with the kick to come. This will be the final play game. Bosch for two. Certainly got it some air. And it's dangled over the crossbar. It's 2 more points. And the Cell C Sharks take out Racing 92 as they congratulate each other on a profitable trip and a worthwhile excursion to the engine room of Asian Rugby, Hong Kong. The final score in the Natixis Rugby Cup for 2018. The Sharks 31, Racing 92 14. And the day will be set to continue as the players greet each other after the match. Superb display of power rugby. Great effort from Sharks. No one's bailing for the gates yet because there's going to be a full-scale party here after. It is Hong Kong, after all. Great Joe Rokothoko. And Daniel, he has been outstanding. What a player. Looking forward to seeing his progress with the Sharks in the 2018 Super Rugby tournament. It's the main grandstand. Starting to empty out, hit the track. As we go down now, pitch side to Rob Naylor with the assistant coach of the Racing 92 side.
Great effort today. How have you enjoyed your trip in Hong Kong?
No, obviously it's been a good experience being in Hong Kong and meeting the Hong Kong people, so we really enjoyed the week. We just want to thank Racing 92 for the match and good luck with the season lying up ahead. And thank you for the fans that was here today. We really appreciate your support and hopefully seeing you in the future.
So what's next for you guys? You head home and then prepare for the next 2 weeks for the start of the Super Rugby?
Yeah, so we're heading back home tomorrow and then preparation for the Super Rugby that kicks off on the 17th of February. So that will be our main focus for the campaign coming up.
Mate, congratulations and safe travels home.
Thank you.
Rob Naylor and the skip of the Cell C Sharks, who came this afternoon, and they brought plenty of fizz with them. Oh, word, on defence they were outstanding, pressurising, creating errors, creating mistakes. Racing 92 never really able to get a shot off under the constant pressure of that Sharks defence. And then when they had the ball, well, you saw in the final minute the kind of play that the Sharks are capable of. Let's go back down pitch side, Rob Naylor now, and this time I think with the assistant coach of Racing 92.
Chris, welcome to Hong Kong. Hope you've had a decent stay and the weather's been alright for you guys.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Hong Kong it's been an awesome place for the boys. We're enjoying our 4 or 5 days here. We've been here 2 years ago and it's a lovely place to be.
And obviously not the result you wanted today, but I guess you won't look too much into that pressing ahead with the rest of the season. So where now for you guys?
Oh, we got a lot of young fellas today. First time there to go, they didn't play much rugby. But, we take a week off and we go back and focus on our top 14 and our Champions Cup.
All right, mate, thanks a lot. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Safe travels.
Thank you very much and thanks everyone. Cheers.
Rob Naylor with former All Black Chris Marsoi, former hard man for the All Blacks. A few people that have been touched up by Chris Marsoi on a rugby field right around the world. A fearsome figure he used to cut. Well, just before we get to the highlights packages, we're still taking in shots of the fans, but let's review the action from the second half. As we take a look at this opening try, terrific work by the Sharks. The skill, the pace, And Lowen for the second try, and so he should have been. He has been one of the outstanding players on the pitch today. Here's the try that was probably takes the cake as being the most low-key try ever awarded. They were setting up for the conversion when we realised that it was worth 5 points. Keegan Daniel, the super impressive athletic, ranging number 8. Next is the try to Cameron Wright. He deserved the try too. His work today for the Sharks side, terrific. Real glue behind that forward pack. Klaasen then put Chavu in for a try, the replacement halfback. It's all sort of consolation stuff, and then this one right at the death where the Sharks got themselves into a bit of pace, and then they electrified the crowd as Kerwin Bosch trots it in. Absolutely no problem for the Flyer. And really, the Sea Sharks stole the show, Rob Naylor.
They certainly did, Jed. As I said earlier, they showed their intentions from the kick-off. They were not going to stand back and be found wanting. They attacked from the outset, both in attack and defence, and proved to be too strong for Racing. Shut them down, gave them no options, and managed to get a few nice pies on the end of great attacking rugby.
Well, it's a good example for Hong Kong fans to see such an all-round aggressive game, particularly in defence. The way that they've shut down those options on Racing 92 was remarkable.
No, it just showed the local fans and obviously the local players. You know that the Hong Kong boys are, they're not blessed with size, but these are the Sharks weren't the biggest guys, but they managed to just stop the big Racing pack in their tracks, mate, just by going low and getting up in their faces, being ruthless and giving them no space.
Well, attention now turns to the presentation area. The crowd starts to make their way down, where the Sharks will be crowned the Natixis Rugby Cup champions for 2018. And then the flag will drop on the after party, which is where I'd step in the main, to be fair.
Mate, I don't doubt you there, Jed. You're always never at the back of the line when it comes to a party.
That is actually probably quite true. Lex Kalika, Hong Kong international, and the King of Carver in Hong Kong.
He's pulled out his best threads for the day there. He's looking nice. I think he's even done his hair, mate.
Well, he would have been given the list by the girlfriend, fiance, about what to wear, how to wear it.
Big Joe there. He'll obviously be keen to get in the shower and get out of those cold rugby clothes.
Doesn't look massively warm, does he?
No. Maybe that's why he's got so much tape on, mate, just keep his arm warm, I think.
So they're making their way over there. They are the Sea Sharks. Only 2 weeks away, really, from the start of Super Rugby in 2008.
Tell you what, Jed, I've never felt more of a midget in my entire life. I did today when I was standing next to Ruan Botta up there. He's an absolutely mountain of a man.
Yeah. I did notice there was a bit of a size difference.
Yeah, I felt like I was talking to his armpit, but yeah, he's definitely a big man.
As they make their way, they meander up like Brown's cows. Oh, okay.
Should I go with the announcer?
There he is, the man of the match. Ruan Botha, also the skipper, so he's had a good day. Cleaned up all the awards. Wouldn't be too surprised if he gets the back seat to himself in the bus. And they have been crowned. There they are, your champions in 2018 from South Africa. It is the Sharks, winners of the 2018 Natixis Rugby Cup here in Hong Kong. And it's a very happy Peter Schatz, chairman of the Hong Kong Rugby Union
and Alan Goulart,
Board of Directors.
CEO of the Texas.
It's been a while since I've seen a smile that big on Shatsy's face.
Well, he's absolutely delighted, isn't he?
Champions for 2018.
I might just ask him what try he scored as the Sharks celebrate a win here in Hong Kong. Just to make things just that little bit colder.
Tell you what, they can ship that champagne over here. I'm a little bit thirsty.
Well, the celebrations have started, and there's a plane leaving tomorrow. Be on it.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure there won't be too many celebrations to be had. They got a big season ahead on these boys. Straight into Super Rugby in 2 weeks, and that lasts a good six or so months. So it's all ahead for these fellas. Same with the Racing guys. They go back and play their club rugby, plus also European rugby. So both sides will be on that plane.
So, the man of the match, well, we can talk about it if you like, but it's got to be the scrum half for me, Cameron Wright.
Yeah, Jed, I tend to agree there. He had a great work rate around the pitch. Was lucky enough to get that try to seal it for himself. So yeah, but as a back, I'm very happy to say that you've made the right decision there, mate. You haven't picked the 1 to 8. You've picked the number 9.
Well, and why not? He was he directed the pack around. He was pretty much on the job the whole way. He got the try he deserved.
He was well supported by his forwards as well, led by Keegan Daniel in the loose there. He also had a stormer, and Marius Lowe as well in the centres. He had a barnstorming game, but yeah, definitely Cameron Wright for me as well.
So the Sharks move on, but we can't say enough about Racing 92 and the good work they've been doing here in Asia, particularly in Hong Kong, as they've brought this event on leaps and bounds over the last 5-6 years, and they continue to help develop the game of rugby union in Asia. Rob Naylor, before we bail, thoughts and comments?
Jed, it's been a great spectacle for the local fans.